Well, the minority in parliament is demanding that President Akufo-Addo withdraws the petroleum agreement with AGM Petroleum in the Deepwater Tunnel South Block, warning Ghana will lose about 10 billion to Aka Energy if the deal stands. Addressing a media briefing, Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu said the agreement is a complete sell-off of the country. Haruna Idrisu is also questioning why a company which is less than a month old called Quad Petroleum is to be given 5% stake in the oil block under the new agreement. He's warning investors over the block. Let's go over to Parliament now and speak to Joseph Opoku-Gakpo. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Getty.
What are the details of these?
So he raises a number of concerns and reiterates a claim that one of the members on the Energy Committee had made earlier, that we are seeing a situation where Ghana's interest in the block is being reduced from 43% to 18%. And he says this is completely out of place. He says the NDC administration under John Dramani Mahama negotiated what was a very good deal. And so if the government wants to tamper with this, they should ensure the product is far better than what they have negotiated. And he makes the point that this is not a deal that the minority will support under any circumstance at all. And that we are all waiting that any moment from now, a report of the Committee on Energy as well as Finance will be brought to the House in connection with this. And the minority leader says they will not have the support of the minority MP.
The country, and to demand that President Nana Addo Dankwa withdraws the petroleum agreement that has been presented to Parliament between GNPC and AGM Aka Energy. We say so because it is not in the national interest and would not be in the long-term national interest of the country. Indeed, the state of Ghana is likely to lose a whopping $10 billion to Aka Energy. Indeed, the World Bank, in one of its findings, have said that by 2023, Ghana is likely to exhaust our oil resources, and therefore we should be prudent to its use and management. And they have even estimated what we're likely to gain as a country from the exploitation of those oil resources. It's important, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you compare President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC and what was negotiated and agreed upon to what is now currently before Parliament. Under President John Dramani Mahama, I'm talking in respect of the South Deepwater Tunnel contract area. Royalty was at 10%. GNPC carried interest 10%. GNPC additional interest 15%. And GNPC Exploco 24%. This is NDC John Dramani Mahama negotiated terms of agreement approved. So that gives you what those of you who are good at mathematics, 43% stake. Now, under President Nana Addo Dankwa, who claims that he's doing the best for the country and negotiating the best for the country, the royalty with AGM Aka Energy and GNPC, royalty is 10%. GNPC carried interest 15%. GNPC additional interest 3%. I emphasize it. And GNPC Exploco 0%. So 43 and 18%. You are all students of arithmetic. Who preserve and who secured the better national interest? Without any fear of contradiction, we think President Mahama and the NDC did under the previous agreement. And it is even more worrying and more compelling In the assessment of seismic data at the time, we are now very close. And for the record again, we in the minority, we believe that this renegotiated agreement is a complete sell-off, particularly that there is evidence that the GMPC itself invested over 30 million in acquiring data and reducing exploration risks over the block, thus making it attractive prior to the entry of AGM Aker Energy. So it means the prospects is even brighter and greater than the period in 2013 when President Mahama and the rest negotiated it. For the record again, this is the first time in many years, guided by the Nigerian and Norwegian example, that we have rushed through petroleum exploratory and production agreement to Parliament and want it passed within 1 week. We need adequate time. We need a sober mind to reflect over the content of the agreement to secure the best for the state of Ghana. Can you imagine what $10 billion can do for road or hospital or education infrastructure that is being given to please or excite a foreign interest? Ladies and gentlemen of the press, rather than improving or maintaining the original agreement executed, as I said, between the government of Ghana and GMPC Exploco on one side, dating back September 10, 2013, the Nana Dankwa government has shamefully reduced Ghana's stake from 43% to a paltry 18%, a reduction of 58%. So if there are discoveries, this will be the basis. Additionally, there is a commitment by the AGM Aker Energy to pay for or carry GMPC on the cost of the first 2 exploratory wells, which the government of Ghana has decided to forfeit. This amount to forfeiture of freeing funding of about $62 million. That is 24% of 259 million well already committed. It is interesting to note and want to know where the former Minister for Energy, Bache Jaku, stood on this matter when a similar request was made to him. The current Minister, Honorable Peter Amewu, will throw caution to the wind and decide to sacrifice the state interest on the altar of political expediency by approving this agreement, and Cabinet and the President itself doing so. Even more worrying and disturbing is the attempt to introduce a less than 1 month old company known as Quad Company Limited. It was only given birth on 10th May 2019. 10th April. Let me take it again. It was only given birth 10th of April 2019. And they are already deserving of 5% equity interest. Less than a month old. As a minority, oversight rests more on our shoulders. We need time to conduct due diligence and further appreciate who they are, what their capacity is, and whether they are able to provide this 5% equity. We in the minority would want to ask the following questions. Why a renegotiation when the fundamentals of the environment have not changed negatively, but has rather improved in favor of the state?
Of the investors.
And higher oil prices and significant technical work already done by the state and GMPC with recoverable reserve. What is Ghana getting in return from this foreign entity for this mind-boggling transfer of benefits all of a sudden? We need to know. And as I've said, you may not have liked the NDC, you may not have liked some of the things that for which they were voted into power, but compare the facts of the record of September 10, 2013 to the facts of the record today on it. Why the indecent haste that Parliament were told the most compelling matter was to come and deal with the company's bill? Vigilante. Was with the vigilante later substituted for company's bill. You've seen our sacrifices to get it done. Who is benefiting from the new 5% local content? What is Ghana getting in return from this foreign entity, Aker, for the transfer as I have indicated. What is the motivation for government in all this? And why did the former energy minister, as we are told, rejected this same transaction and expressed a contrary opinion to what we are seeing? Should we believe the rumors that Aker Energy has grown so much wings that even to engage and negotiate with GMPC, they rather were insisting on relating to the executive direct? Let me remind the President of the tenet of Article 268 of the Constitution. It requires a 2/3 majority. And let me also caution whichever investor that would look thoroughly into some of this matter to secure the best interests of the state of Ghana. I thank you for the opportunity, and I'll be pleased to take any questions.
Big one.
Well, colleagues, because of time, we'll quickly run through. I'm told that you wanted to have three, but let's take your questions and let's see how quick we are. So you get the mic and then you tell us where you are coming from and your name, and then move on. So I can see 1, 2. I can see first one from.
Yeah, we'll take 3, and then we have to go back to the chamber.
And then I can see Opoku too. Yes, so starting from you.
My name is Kweku Sechidan, so I report for GhanaMPs.com. Minority Leader, a while ago you talked about the 5%. I believe this agreement is before the Energy Committee and those working. Would you encourage your members on the committee to dig into who is actually interested in the 5% local content? And 2, are we going to have only press conference after that? Issues you talk about them, then we go and then sleep.
Yeah, then let's take the second one. Yes, I think that's City, and then we'll come to Opoku for the first round. Yes.
My question is with regard to what has been happening at the.
Who are you?
Okay, my name is Duke. I work with City FM. I didn't do that because I'm not home. Yeah, but the question is with regard to what the minority was told at the committee as the justification for this, which the minority is not buying into this agreement. Thank you.
Yes, Opoku.
JoyNews. I just want to understand, are your concerns fundamentally about the very principle of renegotiating the deal, or that as far as you, the minority, are concerned, a renegotiated deal, if the terms are better, you would accept it?
Opoku, come again, because there was some.
No, his is easier answering. Absolute. If there are better and improved terms, that secures a better value for the state of Ghana. We are in for it. Or you maintain the original agreement as in September 2013.
There was this thing about the committee. I mean, I'm a member of the committee. We just came from the committee. We got frustrated. That's why we are here. And look, for those of you who've been hanging around since yesterday, we've been going forth and back, insisting to get very detailed. And it is shocking to see the behavior of some of our colleagues. I mean, throwing the standing orders away. If you look at our standing orders, you are supposed to vote when it becomes necessary, and I will refer you to Order 211. They will not allow it. If you prepare the report, you can insert your report and be voted for, and that's Order 210. They will not allow it. It is just, you either support us or you can walk away. We don't care. You can go and do whatever you want to do. With regards to the local content, remember we had an earlier local content in the 2013. Surprisingly, there was a petition from them. We invited them this morning. They came with every single evidence to show that they are still on. But yesterday, the minister, his deputy, GMPC, all of them kept lying that this is not a local company and on and on. So we've gone through a hell of hours of trying to get this thing done at the committee. It is the failure of the committee, the system that we have put in place that's making us hold this press conference. And obviously, I know the showdown will be on the floor, but this, a lot have gone onto the floor. I mean, imagine, we said that, have you done due diligence on the local partner? Oh, we've done it. When was it incorporated? I don't want to guess. I'll go and get the facts. Do they have the financial technical know-how? The deputy minister said, oh, no, they don't need to have any technical capacity. If you want technical capacity, then no company in Ghana can qualify. So what about the financials?
The minority chief whip there, I beg your pardon, ending that broadcast that was brought in earlier from Parliament. I still have Joseph Opoku-Gakpo on the line so we can wrap up with this. Now, Joseph, as we speak, is the meeting that ended inconclusively yesterday still ongoing?
No. So that meeting came off again this morning, as in the meeting of the Joint Committee on Mines and Energy as well as Finance. And this is what we gather, that the committee will be coming to the House with a report recommending approval for the deal despite the minority concern. At that level, they expressed the concern about them thinking it's a bad deal, but they were overruled by the majority. And so what we can expect eventually when a report is brought on the floor of the House for debate and approval will be a recommendation for approval despite the fact that the minority MPs voted against that. And again, you heard Muntaka Mubarak indicate that we can expect what he describes as a showdown.
A showdown.
A showdown, yes. We gather it's one of two things. Either they will debate the issue and eventually walk out before the voting, or depending on the numbers they'll see, well, it's possible they may be calling for a head count, because this is an agreement that if Parliament has to approve, it will require that there should be more than 2/3 all members of Parliament on the floor, of which more than 50% of them should vote for the deal before it will be approved eventually. The House suspended sitting sometime around 11:15 this morning in order to allow for the Mines and Energy Committee to complete their work and bring their report to the floor. So we are still waiting for the House to reconvene. In fact, I spotted the Energy Minister, John Pitamaru himself, in Parliament a while ago. It's expected that he will be supporting the motion for the approval of the deal eventually when the committee's report is brought. He refuses to comment on the consent, but we are all waiting for the House to begin sitting so that then the report of the committee will be lead and the subsequent debate and approval otherwise.
Joseph, thank you very much for that update, and we will be hoping to hear the majority's response to all of these, if you like, allegations that the minority has outlined, including the fact that the Quad Petroleum, which they mentioned, is a new company that's less than a month old. Joseph, thank you. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is our parliamentary correspondent there, bringing us up to speed on that very controversial petroleum agreement that's on the floor of Parliament at the moment. We'll be getting over to him as and when there's any new development.